Cancel.
Schweezy.
We also have The Way Down Part 2. So the most popular highlight on this channel, the most popular thing I've been getting was from The Way Down when I talked about Gwen Shamlin's church, the HBO Max documentary. And I was kind of upset they didn't include clips of me in the documentary. I'm just saying they could have used those. I would have signed off on them. I don't give a shit. I would have signed off on all that shit. But I guess for those of you who need, I'll update it for you. The Way Down, it's a documentary on HBO Max. It's about church leader Gwen Shamblin, Laura, but the Laura's pretty recent, in her church that was, it's in Nashville, where I'm from, and basically, it was basically like right where I was, and I've driven in that parking lot, I've driven past it hundreds of times. It's in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is basically a suburb from Nashville. But it's where all the rich people, Brentwood, Franklin, that's where all the rich people in Nashville live. Basically, it's people like that. Anyways, like that. So it's basically a church cult, rich people. But the thing with this church cult that's different than other ones, it was about like how you can lose weight, because Gwen Shamblin started like a weight loss program called like The Way Down. And it was WEIGH, down, help people lose weight, which was like, God will help you lose weight. And it was, and like, whenever you're hungry, just pray to God. So it was really just portion control for people, and that's how they lost weight. Which, when you talk about like a portion control, there's good and bads to it. Like, it's like portion control, I just won't eat today. That's bad portion control. Good portion control is like, hey, I'm going to eat these meals today. It's going to equal out to like 1,500, 1,700 calories. 100 calories, and it'll be good, and I'll be good. I'll have a calorie deficit. I should be good. But also was kind of very toxic. They also talked about beating the shit out of children when they misbehave or annoy the shit out of you, which is not cool. I do not support that. I know there's probably some people who listen to this, and some even friends and family of mine that are like, well, I'll spank my kid, but I don't want to, like, I'm not going to beat them. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't spank them. Like, I just don't think it really helps, like, I don't know. I don't think the spanking part's what's doing good. I think I don't think it helps, and I don't think it's the real fixture of anything like that. Anyway, okay, moving on. So basically they had 3 episodes, and it was probably going to be like a 3-episode documentary, but then they had like a plane crash in Percy Priest Lake, which is like near Nashville, and like Joe Lara was the pilot of the plane, and so it's not very. I'm going to say this. If you're piloting a plane and you don't really get out of the metro area of where you flew off from, you're probably not that good of a pilot. And that's the case. I remember me and my friends were talking about it when they initially were in the lake. We're like, I bet the people doing like the search party and shit for that were like, whoever finds Gwen's wig is the winner. So they probably, I'm not making fun of their deaths. I don't think that's important. So they kind of go into the death. I thought there was some weird conspiracy theory about the death of it. I remember when it was initially, when it was initially announced I thought my friend told me that they were sending like the text out before the events happened, but I'm not entirely sure that nothing was really proven for that. So I'm not going to really go by that. I thought there was a conspiracy there. I'm going to say no. I'm going to make sure that there's actual proof before we actually go through any sort of real conspiracy theory in regards to that. Anyways, though, I bet that search party was like, I found the wig! And stuff like that. Basically, they kind of explained, doing research, and they actually had someone, they didn't have a church person do this. They had like a guy who knows about piloting shit like that. Basically, Joe Lara was the one who was flying the plane. And basically, like, he paid to have his license renewed, but with flying, I guess how they market, I'm a musician, so we talk about like the 10,000 hour rule, because it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So I understand you have to practice, you have to do things over and over again to be good at them, to be a master. Like, why you think you hire professionals to do certain things, because they put the 10,000 hours in to do something. So Joe Lara, he paid to have his like flight license renewed, but like his hours actually flying weren't that much. And so definitely, like, when you fly, like, even if you fly Spirit, even them, I like how I'm, like, talking shit on Spirit. You fly Spirit Airlines, basically, they know that, like, those pilots still have flown a lot.
What?
In their travels and shit like that. And so that's something, like, you have to worry about with them. But, like, Joe Lara just has not flown a lot. And it's basically... And that's another thing. So, like, I guess I say, like, Joe Lara doesn't have a lot of hours in on flying a plane. And you're like, what if I fly on I go through an international airport and I fly somewhere? Those pilots are flying all the goddamn time. Like, you do not have to worry. They even also have a co-pilot. And what is a co-pilot on flying? Basically, there's two guys who are perfectly fine with flying. One guy's actually probably flying the plane. But if that guy has a heart attack and dies, there's another guy there to help out. Basically, they have, like, two pilots, one in case the first one dies. So I don't think people should be fucking worried about that if you're worried. So that's a big part of the documentary, and I feel like they should have just waited out till they finished that section of the documentary and just put that as the final episode and finished off there. But they had another episode, which consisted of other people who was like, I want to step forward with what they have done in my life. And like I said, we were talking about the last clip I did, or the last time I talked about this. It's better when I talk about the last time and I wish people, if please tell me you've watched the first one before you go to this one, because I really did talk about how shitty they fucking are, and how shitty and toxic they are. But now we get to this other part, and it's been so long, I'm like, yeah, I already knew this. So I didn't really care about their testimonies and shit like that. But obviously, it's the same from the last one. So if whatever was said in the last one is different. The only different story we heard was a guy, I guess he came out as gay, and he told Gwen Shamlin he was gay, and Gwen basically shunned him, and they made everyone else in the church shun him. And eventually he went away. So that's the only difference. But also, like, that doesn't really surprise me. And I feel bad for that guy because, like, he just wants the place to be accepted and stuff like that. And church is not that place. Just, I know you... It's weird because you really like this idea of God, but then everyone's like, oh, you're gay. The Old Testament says it, but it also says that women can get abortions, but I don't like that, so we're going to ignore it. Fuck the Bible. Oh, and they also showed a pilot of, like, a failed reality show they tried to launch, and it wasn't even interesting and stuff like that. So that's another thing they talked about. And now I guess the church was run by Elizabeth Shamlin Hannah. That's Gwen's daughter. Domlin? What the fuck am I saying? And she looks horrifying. She looks like Jamie Campbell Bowers, like the vampire he played in Twilight. She looks just like him. They also showed... Okay, so in the initial video I made about this, they showed... I talked about, like, on Franklin Road. Like, that's the road there's, like, a million churches on. A church I used to go to that was pro-gay. I just want to say that. I'm not that guy. It was like this road, Franklin Road, a ton of churches, or rich people churches out in Brentwood, Franklin, Tennessee. And they put a billboard up of this documentary on that road, and it wasn't far from where this church is. That's, like, the weird thing. They showed them just putting up that billboard on that road, which I don't understand that. Like, that was only a funny thing for people in the community. Now they're like, yeah, we're going to try to be assholes with this documentary. I think that's everything I have to say about this. Yeah, so if it wasn't for the plane crash, I don't think the last two parts of this documentary were really necessary. Now, I hope people actually have watched the first part of this. The highlight is up on the Cancel Schweezy channel now. Or I can't remember what actual episode we did talk about. It was back in the fall of 2021. But no, make sure you check that out because it is a good documentary. But, like, if you watch it now and you haven't watched any parts of it now, you would be very shocked in and awe of, like, the horrible shit this church did. But if you watch that part back in the fall and you watch this part now, like, you're gonna be like, there's really nothing new minus the plane crash. Like, we really just needed, like, I really just want to know what happened with the plane crash and where they are now, and yeah, that's all I really need to know. So, I don't know. I don't think this needs to be in two parts. They should have just waited and, like, waited to get more information on the plane crash and finish it. That's just me in like an artistic sense, but I don't know. What are y'all thinking? I don't know. What are y'all thinking?
Man proposes and God disposes.
That's a good way to think about it. Hey there, you just checked out a highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Thank you very much. I'm glad that you learned something and that you are now a smarter individual. Just so you know, we have full episodes and other many highlights available now. Click here for the next best thing that you can go check out as well. And make sure you press that subscribe button and press that notification bell. That way you get updated anytime we make a new post or anytime that we make a new highlight or full episode. So thank you, honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome.